Hello everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Mindy and today we are reacting to the last episode of season 3 of Heartstopper. I have been waiting for this episode. I don't know how they're going to close it out. I assume it will handle Charlie and Nick having to separate because Nick is going to college and Charlie is not. If he decides to go to college. We know he was looking at college applications and was rather hesitant because he's afraid of A, who he'll be because he doesn't know who he truly is without Charlie, and B, what will happen to Charlie if he is gone, which it's not quite a healthy way of thinking of things, but I hope they figure it out. Tao had that really beautiful video for Elle showing how much she means to him and what he thinks of her, which I thought was really sweet after that horrible interview. And Darcy came out as non-binary, so let's jump into it. I'm excited to see what happens.
Oh. Do not say it. No. Nick.
No. So it looks like we're jumping in right after the last episode, and Charlie sneaking into Nick's house. But we like hearing the why are we like this. It's a cute moment.
Hi.
Don't look.
Tori says so much with her silence, and I love it.
Just tell me the thing. It's kind of obvious.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know I haven't read the chapter, but I know that Tori is Ace in the webcomics, and I think they're doing a great job of foreshadowing that and her awkwardness around the fact that she does have feelings for Michael, but she's never felt interest in someone before, and I really like this. Hopefully, I don't know if this has been renewed for another season. Hopefully it has, and we get more on that.
I'll leave you to talk.
I apologize for so many pauses, but I rewatched the last episode before this, and I did not realize that the dad knew Charlie was going to ask to stay the night at Nick's house because he prompted him to ask while they were cleaning up after dinner, and now he's leaving the mom alone to deal with the fallout. And that just, parenting should be teamwork, and it feels very much like they're working against each other most of the time. The dad and the mom have completely different ideas of what should be going on.
I'm gonna worry about you, Charlie. I can't help it. I'm your mum. But I know I can be overbearing. My mum was a bit like this too.
We saw that at Christmas.
Anyway, I swore I wouldn't become like her, but I think in some...
I don't remember that from the webcomic, but it feels like it was just heavily implying that her mother was abusive, which would explain a lot of her parenting style. I still think she needs a lot of work on how she handles Tori, but she tries to be strict without being cruel, and sometimes she kind of toes that line. And that has to do with very poor examples from her own parents. But she truly does do the best she can. And last episode, I was very much on her side because she never... Charlie reacted as if she said no. And that she was leaving it not up for a debate. And she had said, sometime in the future, let's talk about it after your end of the year. And I thought that was very reasonable. especially after everything that Charlie had gone through in the last 6 months. She wanted time to process. He wanted an answer within seconds, and it felt very much like she was ganged up on.
GCSEs are over. Can that be our compromise? Thank you, Charlie.
Again, this is very reasonable.
What are you
He's so
smiling
proud
about?
of himself.
It happened, didn't it?
They're so cute, and they're back together. But Charlie is so adorable, and his friends are so happy for him. He did join the band. Sahar had invited him to the band, and he wasn't sure, and now he's in it, and that's exciting because we know he loves music. It's been evident since season 1 that he liked playing the drums.
Is that your mum?
Imogen, are you sure you've got enough?
I am so happy he worked things out with his mom, and I'm really happy that him and Nick are doing well, but I hate that he is lying to his mom. If you're gonna swipe, nope. Bye, Spicy Kitty. I hate that he's lying to her. And I know he's not staying the night, but she wasn't just talking about sleepovers. She was saying, hey, sex is a big deal, and I'd rather you wait at least a couple weeks, and he has not. And I know you can't control teenager sexuality, but it's heartbreaking that he is lying to her when they finally bridged that gap between them.
Stuff.
Well, I had to reduce my skincare routine, so I had a whole other bag.
Okay, I am in uncharted territory because I have not read this part of the webcomic. I left off when they first slept together. That being said, that is very foreboding. Anytime a show says, hey, you'll be there, right? Oh, yeah, I promise. They won't be there. So I expect something to happen and Nick doesn't show up and Charlie gets upset. So.
Right, someone take my bag. It's like everything you work for.
That car's so cute.
It's literally only 15 minutes away from your house.
Yep.
What are you guys thinking of studying? Art. Law or politics? International relations.
So, he said his first choice was close by, and I assume he was implying Kent. But he does not look happy to be there. And again, I said when he said that that he was lying. So I expect he's not interested in the University of Kent at all, and the one he wants to go to is University of Leeds. I think that's what the screen said. So.
Be on our own and close to Charlie.
What about when Charlie goes to uni the next year?
Yeah, if he leaves, then we'll still be apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is not something he considered because he's afraid to leave Charlie behind. But he has not considered the fact that Charlie will want to go away to college in the next year and will have his own choice of college. I think part of him is hoping that him and Charlie go to the same college, but they have very different interests, and he's not happy. He's not happy with the idea of sticking to home. He wants to go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a bit silly though, isn't it? I mean, girls and boys can just be friends.
Yeah.
Imogen's so awkward. Because we very much got the implication that she might actually be gay and not bi when she was talking to Sahar. We don't know. She has not labeled herself, and that's fine. Labels are great for the people it works for. For some people, they don't like labels. but she is very unsure about sharing a room with Nick, and I get the feeling that Nick is the person she needs to talk to.
Like that.
Okay.
I think I kind of felt pressure to have a boyfriend because I was
This is important. This happens to a lot of people. I know when I was in junior high and high school, I would tell people I had crushes all the time. Oh yeah, I like that guy. And it was usually the popular guy. So it was safe to say that you had a crush on them because as far as you knew, everyone had a crush on him. But I never had a crush on anyone because I'm ace and arrow. So it was all very much made up. And then when I got into anime, it was even safer to say it was the fictional characters because there was no expectation that you would confess to these people. So Imogen covering this and how people are pressured to say they have feelings for members of the opposite sex is very important because that pressure shouldn't be there. You shouldn't feel as if you have to do this to be normal.
doing life right. I don't think I liked Ben either, or my year 10 boyfriend. I don't think I've ever liked a boy, actually.
That is something I hadn't considered about Imogen's character, and I should have. The signs were there, but she gets her validation from people returning her feelings, and that's why she stuck around with Ben for as long as she did, because she felt as if being his boyfriend gave her value, even if he treated her like crap, because he liked her, even though we know he didn't. He was just trying to cover the fact that he is bi and interested in Charlie. Hi.
Then. I don't want Oxford. I don't want any more academia. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life.
Gap year is always an option.
That is very important. Tara is living for other people and not by choice. And she is coming out of her shell and beginning to live for herself. And turning her back on Oxford is a very big first step, and I'm excited for it.
I think I want the uni experience, you know, meeting new people and uni sports, societies. I have no idea.
I know gap years are they're not standard, but they're more common in Europe. Gap years aren't something that's discussed in the US. The expectation is either you go to university or you go to a community college right after high school, or you go straight to the workforce and don't go to college, at least for years. And that's frowned upon. That's considered not bettering yourself. College is very much shoved down the throats of American teenagers, despite the fact that it puts us thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, because college is not covered here. So I'm excited for the teenagers that do take a gap year because it gives them that life experience that you don't get in university. So I'm glad it's more acceptable in other countries. I wish it was here.
Nicholas, tell us everything right now.
You don't have to.
No, you absolutely don't. Everything.
No. This is so embarrassing.
When I first met Nick, I never expected him to be one of the girls. Like, of any of the characters, I would have expected it from Isaac. But he has really made massive, important friendships with these girls, and I love every second of it.
It's a rite of passage. Important purchases must be made.
of them considered the way that looks. Now, the cashier doesn't know two of these women with him are lesbians, but still. Oh my god.
Excuse me. Where's my hug?
Come here then. Wow.
No, I watched the video you.
These three are awesome, but that other band member did not look happy, and it makes me worry for Charlie.
It's like we're Star Wars lovers. Just because we kiss doesn't mean we found the one like you guys have.
Definitely not Imogen.
Sahar took that one very personally.
Definitely not Imogen.
Okay, it's about her, but that's not the point. So let's get this show on the road, please.
At least she was a good support about it. At least she was a good sport about it.
What are you thinking of studying? Maybe sports science or psychology? Haven't really decided yet.
Yeah, University of Leeds is definitely the place he wants to go, and they really made it look much more inviting than the others with all the pride flags, and I don't know if that's what it looks like there. I've never been to the UK, but it definitely looks much better.
Yeah, definitely. My partner's actually on one of the teams. Josh!
That's awesome. So not only do they have a rugby team, they allow queer folks on it, and he won't have any pushback like Charlie did at school.
Can help me if things get really bad again. It's very true.
That it is very hard to not have intrusive thoughts. Everyone has intrusive thoughts, and now some people have less upsetting intrusive thoughts, but no one should see intrusive thoughts as a weakness. You just have to acknowledge them for what they are and turn to your support system when you're struggling. Everyone needs a support system, whether they are struggling with their mental health or not.
I think I've realised that even though I love Nick, I need other people. My sister.
Yes, absolutely. That's very doable. You can drive down on the weekends.
If I move away, it will hurt Charlie.
No.
You're a bit of a people pleaser.
Oh. No, he needs to hear this. You're always putting everyone else's
It's true. People pleasing to the max.
I'm afraid of being away from him. I don't know who I am without him.
Maybe it's time to find out.
Yeah. It's about time he finds out who he truly is, because he has been hiding so much of himself for so long. Good job, Charlie. He's doing it.
I'm ready.
She's so proud, and so am I. Charlie has been struggling with his appearance this whole time, and he's finally comfortable, and this is amazing. And she agrees.
She's not. She's avoiding me.
Oh, why?
Well,
So I don't think they were dating yet, and I think she's avoiding him because she doesn't know how to approach her feelings for him.
I just figured we should have a conversation about it, but now I wish I hadn't said anything. Do you want me to go and find her?
Michael's not wrong, but he overthinks things so much, and that is so true to his character, but at least Charlie's looking out for them.
So you don't want to be Michael's girlfriend?
What does girlfriend even mean?
You're having a weird
They're so perfect for each other.
amount of trouble. I understand what that's like.
Don't use your Jeff crap on me. You're nothing like me.
Tori
I
feels
wish I
so
was like
much
you.
more than she lets on.
You're hopeful. You try.
If you've not been doing anything but try to help me for the last year, whether you want to be Michael's girlfriend or not, it doesn't matter. You have so much love to give.
Yes.
You don't have to give it all to me.
Well, I wanted to. I'd do it all again.
She's such a
I know.
sweet person.
But I'm okay now, Tori. Yeah, I'll still have bad days, but I'm okay.
Tori needed to hear that so she could let go. She's so much of her life has been spent worrying about Charlie that, much like Nick, she doesn't know who she is without Charlie. So she needed to hear that. Charlie just told Jeff that he didn't need Nick as a support system. He wants Nick as his support system, but he is okay leaning on people other than Nick. So hopefully this sets that in stone.
How are we doing? We are Queer Intentions, just in case you don't know. We're going to sing a few songs.
The band's name is Queer Intentions. That is amazing. I love every bit of it. There it is. I'm gonna wind up crying because that smile on Charlie's face, Joe Locke nails his character so well. And he looked into the crowd and he saw everyone that he leans on cheering for him. And he just smiled because he knows they're there for him. I love this song, but there's no way Netflix is gonna let me keep it in this video. It's gonna get copyright so quick. Charlie didn't need him there. He wanted him there, and it meant the world to him that Nick came there to support him. But he was okay, even if it made him anxious that Nick wasn't there. So this was the perfect way to show that Charlie can survive without depending on Nick. And that was at the very beginning of the season. I said that they were unhealthy. Despite loving each other and caring about each other, they were unhealthy because they only turned to each other in times of need, and that is not how it's supposed to work. Your partner should not carry the weight of everything that's going on in your life. This looks like so much fun. I have not been to a carnival in so many years. They're expensive.
Cool. I need to find a job though, because my mum's not going to pay for international travel. I mean, she doesn't even pay for my bus fare to school, so yeah.
So I'm really happy they changed it, because this is Tao broke up with Elle briefly because he wasn't sure they could do a long distance relationship. He thought it was doomed, and I'm so glad they changed that because it would not have suited his character growth over the last 3 seasons, because we've seen him slowly become more and more comfortable with the idea of those he loves not being right next to him.
So are they dating? I'm not really sure.
Isaac's thinking that he knows what's going on with Tori. Maybe he'll give her the language she needs, and I love that. I love that he's comfortable taking this step. This was one of the sweetest and yet most wholesome sex scenes I've seen in TV. Because it's not there to emphasize the sex. It's there to emphasize the connection between the two characters, and I love that. So that was Heartstopper, season 3, episode 8, the last episode of the season. I'm very confused because it didn't feel like the season came to a conclusion. And I don't mean that as in it was a bad season finale. It just felt like there's a lot unanswered between the characters, and in the sense that Nick has not told Charlie he wants to go away. We don't know where Tara's going. We know Elle wants to go to Europe. I really like that they showed Charlie getting more comfortable with his skin, because we'd seen that as an ongoing issue throughout the season. I liked the scene in the car with the girls and Nick. He needed someone to tell him it's okay to be away from Charlie. It's okay to discover who you are. That's what college is for. It's time to figure out who you are outside of this relationship, no matter how much it means to you. So that was really well done. It made me really happy to see. And Grandma was nice to see. I always love seeing Darcy's grandma. So it was a really good season. The first 4 episodes were gut-wrenching, and the last 4 were a nice come down. It was a nice return to the Heartstopper, wholesome, heartwarming content we know, while still tackling the serious topics that are in Heartstopper. So I look forward to the next season, and I'm looking forward to them announcing it. If they haven't already, I haven't looked it up. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you guys at the next reaction.